Thanks, gentlemen. Fresh off the Rift, I'm joined by Link and Dexter. And guys, when we spoke to Doublelift and Aframu yesterday, I congratulated Doublelift on first place, and he said, well, we never really hold on to it for that long, but you did it today. You're at least going to be in first, whether or not you share it, still to come. How does that feel, knowing that you're finishing the week in first?
It feels awesome. I mean, like, to be honest, I came into this week thinking that we're going to go like 0-2 or even 1-1. So it's kind of nice going 2-0 this week, especially in such a hard week.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, jumping right into the game, I want to talk about that the level 1 kind of shenanigans that were going around. Both teams throwing deep wards, looking for the matchup. So, Dexter, if you could just explain to me, what were you guys expecting? What were you looking for? Did you get it?
We expected to go 1-on-2 this lane because we knew that our bot lane isn't really good against their bot lane, and they tried to actually dodge us, but in the end we just went for the 1-on-2. And what that did was they put us in a really bad spot actually, and they could have 3-buffed us because we had to walk to our blue buff to secure 1 buff at least. And then after was like, okay, I'm coming, and then we went over to our red buff and secured it. So if they would have reacted faster, we would have get 3-buffed and we would have sat behind a lot. And then what happened was they just decided for whatever reason to focus their resources on our top lane, and we're like, okay, we're gonna make that trade for sure. We don't care if Shyvana dies 1 or 2 times. We take Dragon, and then we shouldn't get Dragon in this game, like 100%. When you look at both team compositions, it's like there's no way that CLG is gonna take this first Dragon, and we got 2 Dragons in a row. And even when we were behind in the score, we knew that okay, we have the experience advantage. We have 2 kills on Kog'Maw. This game should be over. They're too far behind to do anything. And I mean, they had the Jax. Jax got nerfed, so he's not that great anymore, and Shyvana can deal with him. They have a TF, and yeah, we just knew that if we just keep it up, don't do stupid mistakes, keep on vision warding, everything, there's no way we're gonna lose this game. And we just played it out really flawlessly, actually, and had really good decision-making this game.
So I want to touch on the idea of Shyvana getting picked off a couple times at top and how that allowed you guys to make plays around the map. Is that a pattern that you guys have recognized as a team, and you're saying, hey, you know what, Seraph, you know, bummer that everyone wants to focus you, but what that allows us to do is make so many more plays, and is he embracing that role? What's going on there, Link?
I think the biggest problem right now is that we kind of make Seraph too weak sometimes, like in like every single game. But there are like the way it should work is that there should be like a balance where, all right, this game we're gonna get our bottom lane fed, right? But then there should be other games when if Seraph's playing Ryze, then we should get the Ryze top lane fed, right? But I think our biggest problem right now is that we kind of neglect the top lane, and that's just because over like the past like roles that we've had, or like the people we've had in top lane, they've always had trouble like calling the jungler. So we're always trying to help Seraph out and making sure that he needs to get the help he needs. So it's really important that he communicates with us because like obviously he has like a language barrier, which already makes it hard. But that's why it's even more important that we watch replays like this to figure out how to help him.
All right. Now, there's no great segue into this, but we thought it'd be a fun clip to watch. You actually got first blooded. I just kind of want to get your reactions on this. About 3 minutes and 45 seconds. We're going to pull it up on your screen. I'm sorry you got to relive this, but just talk to me about what happens and, you know, how it caught you off guard and things like that.
Well, I was beating Shifter in lane, and then I was freezing the lane and making sure that I'm not going to get ganked, but then a random hook came out of the Raves, and, well, I mean, there's not really much you can do about that except, well, I just got hooked over the wall.
It was you know, fantastic awareness, though, to know that you were going to die. You didn't blow any of your summoners, right? A lot of people, you know, instinctively they'll flash out saying, I hope I can live, but going down, save your summoners, you can use them later to make plays. Anyway, that was really just for fun, just kind of...
Thanks.
Of course, I wanted to remind you of that. Now I want to go back into the plays off of Seraph and Shyvana, and I guess the question is really about that pick because we saw him pull out Ryze yesterday. Why throw him back on Shyvana when we watched him in a bit more of a damage-centric role?
Well, I mean, Shyvana is one of our favorite champions CLG ever had, and we don't want to give too much away because we don't want any team to think like us and then know that we're going to pick Shyvana, but we could have had a lot of different options here. I mean, Renekton does fairly well against Jax, but we decided to go with Shyvana because it's like a really comfort pick in this game, and we're like, okay, we're just going to play from behind. We are really good at playing from behind, actually, and even if the early game doesn't go well, we have Kog'Maw, Shyvana, Orianna to back it up, and yeah, we just decided, Seraph wanted to play Shyvana, and they were like, okay, we trust him, and we lock in Shyvana. But there were other options that would have worked just as well, I think. A Renekton, for example, but yeah, it's just how preference. Seraph wanted to play Shyvana. We're like, okay, you get it. There you go.
All right, great. Well, we're going to see a quick example of kind of that team fight prowess that it allowed you guys to have with the Shyvana front line here at 11 minutes and 15 seconds. It's a 1-0 dragon fight that you guys go ahead and pick up. Dexter, if you could walk me through it real quick.
So yeah, we know that they're gonna start Dragon, and we have no vision, and we walk in right now. Link gets caught, but does a very good flash, and they back off from Dragon already, so we're in a really good position right now. Lee Sin does the insect, but Link dodges every spell, and then now it's the cleanup, and then we have the perfect position to fight him. We had the really good shockwave here from Link, and then there's just cleanup, and this fight is lost. There's nothing they can do, pretty much. We just pulled them in a really awkward position because they were all clumped up, and they had two options. They either take all the damage from Orianna and Shyvana, or they just fight us, and yeah, they can't run from us. And then if they run, we just get a free objective, and they spend so many resources getting all the vision around Dragon. But in the end, it didn't really matter because we were really decisive there, and we said, okay, we can go, we can fight. Seraph was tooling them on the other side of mid lane, and then we just walked in and got the area back, which we actually never do. But in this game, we were like super decisive, like, okay, we have to man up, go, go, go. And yeah, that was really good from us.
All right, so moving a little bit further into the game, I just want to comment real quick on your Elise build and get your thoughts.
Oh.
You went for a more damage-centric build, and we've seen different pro players go different directions. Some go Ancient Golem and cooldown still, some are going damage-centric. So was it specific to this game that you went with that build, or is it just kind of that's the way that Elise should be built at this point?
Well, I think I should be known that what I like to run, and even when people criticize me on going full damage Elise, I think it's by far the best build, because if you go tankiness, like Golem isn't that good on Elise. The build path is really bad for Elise. Like the code is super bad on Elise, and I don't like it. And Spirit Stone, what it gives you is it gives you sustain in the jungle, and you actually get mana back, like super high sustain. And AP doesn't really help, but the biggest problem that Golem has right now is the 30% damage on creeps additional. So if you have Golem, you can't really have good objective control with Elise. Whereas if you have the Spectral Wraith, you still get the 30% damage on creeps, and the Q deals like 600 damage on. Yeah, you see me soloing Dragon at like 7 minutes. When I get Superfire, I had 2 kills in early game. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna solo Dragon right now, and yeah, I think Golem is not that good anymore. And yeah, if you just go with the Spectral Wraith, you can go Magic Pen even more, or you can go Haunting Guys like what I do. I don't upgrade boots at the moment. When I have the gold, I just go Haunting Guys to compensate for the health loss. And after that, I go Locket. Then I have like the same amount of HP. I have more damage than before the patch. The only thing that's missing is the Tenacity. But I don't need it on Elise because I can just dodge everything with my Repel. So I dodged like 5 gold cards again this game, and yeah, that's how I think, at least. I mean, Elise should be built as like a high damage, pressure-oriented jungler, and when I have Ancient Golem, there's no way that any other jungler in the game can one-on-one me. And at the point where I had Ancient Golem, Ancient Spectral Wraith item, sorry, at 9 minutes or something, I was like, okay, I'm stronger than Elise. As Lee Sin. There's no way that Lee Sin can ever invade my jungle without fighting me. And if he would have decided to fight me, I would have just crushed him one-on-one, and he would have died. And yeah, that's the thought process I have. The more damage I have on Elise, the easier it is for me alone to defend my own vision. And the stronger I am, the more I can do in their jungle without getting punished for it, because I can just, 1 cocoon means 50% chunk, and then they have to back off 3 objectives.
All right, I'm going to store some of those tips away in my brain for my solo queue games later today. Final question, Link. We kind of mentioned it early in the show. On your blog, you mentioned that you guys are facing some issues as a team, but that you're not entirely sure how to fix the problems that you're having as a team. Does that mean that the problems are diagnosed, so you at least know what needs to be remedied, or is it just kind of like we're struggling and we don't know why? Will it be figured out?
We all know the problems, like, to be honest. It's really hard to fix them ourselves because it's like, to be honest, I would just say it's all communication problems. Like, if somebody is doing bad or something like that, we all don't want to be the bad guy and point out, like, who did bad or something like that. Because for the most part, sometimes we just take it like poorly, like criticism. So it's really important that we try to be more open, and we're trying to do that. And we're trying to like make sure that everyone can take criticism, better. But it's really hard to do that sometimes, because if you're just by yourselves and you're playing in the team house, and then maybe you just had a bad day of scrims, you just don't take it well. So it's kind of hard, like, moving forward right now, but we're all trying to get better at it. And this is kind of like, to be honest, like a problem we've had for a while. But for whatever reason, we always perform really well on LCS days. So, I mean, I guess that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. The wins. If you get the wins, right? Why change anything? Although, to be said, diagnosing the problem is the first step to fixing it. So that's great. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for your time on the desk. Congratulate you on a 2-0 weekend, moving into first place. All right, we've got to take a quick break while we decipher your Twitter handles for our question of the day. Then we'll head back into action with Cloud9 versus TSM. Keep it right here for more Summer Split action.